Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, back with a mainstream release for the massive, highly anticipated, adrenaline-filled Dev Patel starred, directed, produced, blood, sweat and tears. We have is The Monkey Man. Going straight into this one, guys, is making big waves within the action kind of genre. It is another one of those kind of staple kind of movies. The star and director's gone on many interviews talking about the kind of production history, the problems they've had with funding being pulled, Jordan Peele coming into the rescue with Universal. And you can tell by watching this film how important this film is to him in terms of a cultural piece, in terms of a putting his own kind of style and flavor of the action kind of genre. But so many creative avenues this film goes along with in terms of its visual style, in terms of how it's using the camera work, especially with the action, making it very raw, gritty, personal, kind of, nasty. It definitely earns its 18 rating for damn sure. It isn't afraid to go hard. One of the things I want to say straight away about Monkey Man is have the right expectations going in, guys. It's a 2-hour movie. This is not the John Wick of kind of like the next level. This is non-stop action. This is a very personal, very grounded movie that gets a lot more creatively kind of charged as the film goes along. It kind of takes you on this journey with this character Dev Patel is playing, and you really get a sense of who he is as a person and this journey of how he becomes a John Wick kind of character, but more in the line of like an old boy, I would say, more in the line of a kind of Silent Night, well, a lot of these other kind of movies that we know and love, obviously like John Wick or like The Equalizer, a lot of these kind of characters are already established badasses. They've already got the skill sets, they're ex kind of like, assassins or military special ops kind of thing, whatever, and they are tragic characters that are trying to run away from their demons and they have to be brought back into the light. That's always the kind of the gimmick of that. Films like Old Boy or something like, Silent Night, which I recently did talk about, these are characters that are starting from level 0, from bottom of the barrel, and they have to work their way up to basically become a version of themselves. They want to basically to be an invincible machine, essentially be a Punisher type character or someone who is hell-bent on anger and violence and to get it done, essentially get shit done. And this film goes on that journey. So if you're expecting a non-stop action from start to finish, you're not going to get it. If you retweak your expectations in the right way, if you think more the lines of a Korean movie, playing more of a heroic bloodshed where the film builds up this character, and then when all hell breaks loose, you're going to get something really, really special. And that's what the film does. The first hour of this film is Dev Patel basically starting from ground zero, essentially. You get to find out a bit more about him in his childhood. Something tragic happened in his past, and he's got burn marks on his hands. And he's kind of infiltrated this kind of very high establishment, this kind of like hotel, restaurant, kind of, VIP club called the Kings. He's managed to kind of like weasel his way into that and become like a staff member, try and find a very specific person that has caused him a lot of harm and pain, and something that's very personal to him, you find out as the film goes along. And that first hour is very engaging from start to finish. It never lets up. It never gets boring or uninteresting. It keeps you kind of like engaged in what's going on in terms of the character, why he's doing what he's doing. He's a bit of a fighter. He's known as the Beast, the Monkey Man, who does kind of like fixed kind of fights, kind of boxing fights. So he's always taking those punches. He's always getting back up, and he's making a little bit of money on the side on that. But his goal is to get revenge on this one specific person. And you find out various different characters and people he kind of goes, and you get to know the world as well. Messiah, this kind of savior, someone who's kind of speaking to God, who's basically manipulating thousands of people into believing his cause, and then talking about this idea of, they are my disciples, I am building an empire, and he started from nothing, has worked his way up to become like potentially this God-fearing kind of person, savior of this town, and I'm going to bring clarity to all. But he's also very highly in the rich. He's also has a lot of power, a lot of influence, and he is our kind of like, our scary kind of main villain behind the villain kind of character, which is quite cool. And he has some great dialogue in the film, especially with towards the middle act when he says about, make sure this nobody before he becomes a somebody, essentially, because that's what happened to him. He started from zero and built this empire up, and he's fully aware that one person can bring it all down very, very quickly. And camera work, the editing, the way it's kind of paced, it's really kind of stellar. You get a fantastic kind of montage sequence with him kind of punching bag with these kind of drums. It's absolutely brilliant. And then all leads into a hell-bent third act kind of stuff, which you've seen them in the trailers. Some very awesome kick-ass fight sequences, very much in the line of The Raid and you know, The Night Comes For Us, you know, many other kind of examples you can think of, but he definitely puts himself out there. You know, the music choices are great as well. There's some of the kind of the tactics with the fireworks. He has some kind of like help as well, which is also really cool. All builds up to a really kick-ass, non-stop kind of finale that really delivers. I think this film's going to do very well for Dev Patel and his kind of future directing. He's probably going to get a lot of work with Universal now, especially with Jordan Peele backing. I'd love to see a trilogy. There's absolutely room for 2 more entries in this. So there's a lot of ideas left on the table. There's a lot of things you can really build up and pull from that is left to kind of, you know, do your devices. So a film that definitely holds up for sure. Absolutely recommend watching it, guys, in the cinemas. Go and support the film. In the meantime, guys, Amphlett Reviews, signing out.